What's My Line? Brought to you by Bravo Floor Wax. For a shine so tough, you can wash it with detergents and it comes up shiny. Bravo! And now, let's all play What's My Line? And now, from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, a lady whose syndicated society column appears in the New York World Journal Tribune and newspapers from coast to coast, Miss Suzy Knickerbocker.
I'd like to introduce the gentleman whose new book, The Ground is Our Table, belongs on everybody's table. Steve Allen.
Thank you, Suzy. What actually belongs on everybody's table is needle and thread. I just broke a button as I was coming in. And now, a young lady who has been on this program for quite some time. It's been my pleasure to sit next to her for many years, and she opens tomorrow in the new play, How Is Your Bird? In Poughkeepsie, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now our distinguished Random House panelist, who has his own airline, Pun American, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
And here is our relentless, sometimes devious, but almost always unsurpassable panel moderator, John Charles Daly.
Thank you very much, Bennett. Arlene, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I am.
Suzy, it's wonderful to have you back.
Thank you, John.
And Steve, it's nice to see you. We've been seeing a lot of one another these days, and I like that idea.
It's always fun, John. Thank you.
It's Old Home Week. See you sitting there, and because it's Old Home Week, I'm happy to say that we've got some very interesting occupations for you to play games with today. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before my friends on the panel a little bit later in the program, but right now, let's meet our first contestant. Will you sign in after you've entered, please? Bong, Wei, Wong. Right, sir? All right, Mr. Wong, where are you from?
I'm from Berkeley, California, but presently in Europe.
Presently working in Europe. Ah, you went to Berkeley, go to Berkeley?
Yes, I did.
Real California? San Francisco?
Well, I was actually born in Arizona.
Born in Arizona. You've moved around a good deal. Mr. Wong, may I present the panel? Now, will you join me over here, sir, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. Wong is self-employed, and he deals in a service. And we will begin things with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Wong, are you a performer?
Yes.
Do people come indoors to see you perform?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Wong, before Mr. Daly says it, I must point out to you that 2 Wongs do not make a white, you know.
One of our good viewers wrote me a letter and said the next time Bennett does that, go digging in Shakespeare and you will find a line which says, "He who will pun will pick a pocket."
Mr. Wong, you perform outdoors then?
Yes.
When you perform, do you require something other than your own person to do whatever you do?
Yes.
Is it something that you possibly manipulate?
Yes.
Would you be able to do this in a circus?
No.
No, well, let us say that it could be done in a circus, but no term of reference with which we are familiar suggests that it ever has been done in a circus. This is what we mean to convey, Bennett. Susie?
But this is done outside, as in an arena, perchance?
Well, we could generally describe it, I think, Mr. Wong, as an arena. Yeah?
Do you require a special kind of training for what you do?
Yes, you do.
Must you go to school to learn what you do?
Not necessarily.
Is that a no?
No.
Let me have a small conference with Mr. Wong.
Quiet, isn't it?
No, the reason I wanted to have a little conversation with Mr. Wong is we would not want to leave the impression that the degree of training was not substantial. But there is no formal schooling as such which is an absolute requisite to the performance of the service itself. Mr. Allen.
Is there anything acrobatic about what you do, sir?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you perform outdoors in the winter?
No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Wong, do you do your stuff either in the air or on or underwater?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Suzy.
Now, we've established that you manipulate something. Is this right?
That's correct.
Do you touch anyone when you are performing your service?
No.
That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is there any music played while you perform?
Sometimes.
I would think normally during the period of your appearance, there's some music
Sometimes,
connected.
not always.
Yeah.
Just happened to think of what the music should be, Bennett. It's a bong way to Tipperary. Is it Occidental music?
Yes, it is.
Is your job dangerous?
Yes, it is.
Are firearms involved?
No.
That makes it 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there any vehicle connected with what you do?
No, there is not.
9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Wong, could you use the service, the thing that you do, in defending yourself?
Yes.
Would it have anything to do with either judo or some kind of wrestling or thing of that sort?
No.
No, but the arena is getting open. This is a tough one. I told you we'd have it. You want to take a couple of guesses?
Is he a swordsman?
No.
Arlene.
Although he does use what we would describe as a sword as a part of the responsibility.
A fencer?
I meant a fence.
No, because the
Sword swallower?
the sword is there, but is not there until
Sword
the final
dancer?
moments. Now, there's a
It's
hint.
thrown at him.
Mr. Wong is a bullfighter. Miss Suzy?
Isn't that performed in an arena?
Yeah, we said it was an
Oh,
arena.
I see.
Yeah, we said it was an arena. This is interesting. Actually, Mr. Wong is a graduate of the Berkeley campus of California, holds a degree in civil engineering, was working for the highway department in California, and read the story, the life story of a great matador, and decided that's what he wanted to do. And now he's a novillero in Madrid, which is the quintessence of excellence in the field.
Because there's no bull at Berkeley.
There's no bull at, well, not the kind. They throw a lot of bull at Berkeley, but, now, wait a minute here.
Let's not get into that.
Let's not get into that. My wife is a Berkeley graduate, too. But he has a nickname. Now, the great El Cordobés retired this week.
Yeah.
And we will hope that, since this is the career that you chose, that El Chino, they call you.
El Chino.
Well, sometimes, not
Don't
always.
they? Well, but they'll pick it up. The Madrid public is very, very strongly in favor of our novillero, who one day will hope to be a matador. This is fantastic. Are you very happy in the choice that you made?
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm in it. It's something I wanted to do.
What to do?
How many
It's
bulls
terribly
have you
dangerous.
killed by now, Mr. Wong?
Very few. I've killed roughly, let me see, around 20, I suppose. 20 or 30.
It's a difficult area to talk about because people are aficionados or they're not. Quite frankly, I'm not an aficionado, but it's a highly dangerous way to go out and spend your time. And it takes extraordinary skill and courage, and I congratulate you on your courage and your skill, and nice to have you with us. We'll have another contestant for you in just a moment after this word. And now to meet our next contestant, will you enter and sign in, please? Cecilia Bennett, right, ma'am?
Looks like Bennett.
All right.
Is it?
Is it Miss or Mrs. Bennett?
Miss.
Mrs. Bennett, where are you from?
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit.
Yes.
Nice to have you with us. Mrs. Bennett, may I present the panel? And now would you join me over here, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. Whoa. All right, panel, we will tell you that Mrs. Bennett is self-employed and deals in a product, and we will begin things with Bennett Cerf.
Steve, what song would you have in mind for Cecilia Bennett? All together now.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend a lot.
No, does your mother know you're out?
Does your mother know you're out?
Mrs. Bennett, the product that you deal with is one that can be used by both sexes
Yes.
and devoted entirely to human beings, not animals?
Yes.
Is it a product that could be held in the hand?
Yes.
Is it a product that would be found in the home?
Yes.
In a particular part of the home, usually?
Yes.
If it were a two-story house, would it be on the first floor?
Bennett, this is difficult. Let me say this. It's a line of questioning which might well be abandoned, because what we've admitted here is that there is no reason to say to you that...
It couldn't be on either floor.
It couldn't be on one floor or another, but we will admit that in non-use, it more likely than not would be put one place rather than another.
Mrs. Bennett, does this product come into physical contact with the person who is using it?
Yes, it does.
Could you describe it as something that is worn, then?
Yes.
And it's worn by both sexes?
Oh, yes.
Is it worn above the waist?
Yes.
Is it worn above the neck?
Yes.
Is it worn below the hairline?
Yes.
Then it's something that's worn on the face. Brilliant deduction.
Of course, now, you must realize that we're answering your questions in terms of what we would call the usual haircut.
Mrs. Bennett, does this product then have something to do with either the mouth, nose, eyes, or ears?
Yes.
Which one?
Bennett's been trying that for 17 years.
Never
hasn't
gotten
made it
that.
yet.
How about ears?
Yes.
Because John said something about the kind of haircut. Then
My
it is
fault.
something that is worn around or in the ears. Is that right?
Yes.
Is it around the ears rather than inside the ear?
No.
1 down and 9 to go. As a matter of fact, 4 or 5 down since I made a mistake. Go ahead. I shouldn't talk so much about haircuts. Susie, you're next.
It goes inside your ears, then, one's ears. Inside,
Yes.
earplugs.
Right. Very good. I need the exercise, so we get the rest of them over. That's very good. Bennett, congratulations, and Susie, congratulations for swimming and sleeping. Actually, I think that one of the things that will interest you is that Mrs. Bennett is a cellist. Her good husband was a bass player, right? Is a bass player, and invented this. I don't know enough about earplugs to be expert about. They invented a kind of earplug, and they manufacture them.
So his wife wouldn't have to listen
and
to
make
him.
them. Oh, please. Bennett, what are you trying to do? Mess things up. But this will be more. Gil Fates, who is our producer, needs earplugs, and he couldn't get any of this particular kind, which had proved to be so efficient. So he wrote to find out if they could send him some, and this is how we met Mrs. Benner and her husband, and how we persuaded her to come and be our guest. That's right. McKeon Products Company, right?
Max earplugs.
Max earplugs. I'll take mine out now. Well, thank you very much. Nice to have you with us. Yes, Steve?
John, tell Gil Fates that if he can't get the right brand next time, if a button falls off his tux, just stick it right up in there and it'll do the trick.
Save the button. We'll get Bennett to sew it on for you after the show's over. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, this message. And now the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as the good Lord knows, everybody knows, the panel is blindfolded. Are those blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right. All right. Just the usual reminder, one question at a time, in turn moving clockwise, and we'll begin things with Suzy.
Well, I never heard such an ovation. Are you in the entertainment world?
Yes. Mr. Allen?
Are you known primarily for your work in motion pictures?
No. One down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Then for your work in the theater?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Is that English accent phony?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Suzy?
You are not known primarily for movies or for the theater?
No, now let me put a caveat down. We're not suggesting in any way, manner, shape, or form that our guest is not well known in the other media, but we're just suggesting, since it was posed, are you best known, that we're holding something else out.
I see. Are you a singer?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Steve Allen.
Did you bring a needle? No, never mind. Do you work primarily in television?
Would you say that again, Steve?
No, John.
Well, there's an impasse.
Did you do you work primarily in television, or have you worked primarily in television?
Yes. Miss Francis?
Would you be considered a comedian?
Yes. Mr. Cerf?
Have you got a regular series?
Yes. Suzy?
Do you co-star with someone that we all know, someone who is a household word?
You mean like Irving Borax?
Exactly. What else?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is your program primarily a comedy program?
Yes.
That's nice.
Do you play a father in this series?
Yes.
Has
Mr. Cerf.
this series been on the air more than one season, you lucky fellow, if so?
Yes.
It has.
Yep. Suzy?
You're a daddy.
Yes.
A daddy. Do you have more than one child?
No. Mr. Allen?
Oh, dear. Is your program a witty, sophisticated, urbane kind of thing as contrasted with the country style?
No.
No.
That's 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
He's a country-style daddy.
That's the best kind.
Is it Western country?
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, there are a lot of these Western fellows around, these
It's
hillbilly,
not
I mean,
Western,
hillbilly fellows. I can't think which one. How can I determine?
Rip off your mask, Ben.
That would help. Do you ever, in the course of a program, play a guitar or any other musical instrument?
Sometimes. Suzy?
You have one child. I wish I knew what's so funny. Is she a girl, or is he a boy? Is it a girl?
No. That makes it 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Allen.
Oh, dear. You wouldn't be Eddie Albert, would you?
No.
No, that makes it 9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
Has Batman any children? Or Superman or any? No.
He ain't robbing the cradle lately.
Is it, no, he's got more than one. Everybody I can think of has more than one.
This is not necessarily germane.
Oh.
It's Irving Germain. That's
He... Danny Thomas hasn't got, Danny Kaye hasn't got a whole lot of television series now, I'm going to have to pass.
Well, now, there are two names. There's Tennessee Ernie Ford and Andy Griffith. Are you one of those two? Yes. What? Yes. Well, which one are you?
Keep trying, Bennett.
What? Andy Griffith.
Yeah. Right.
Fool him every time.
How about that English accent?
Fool him every time.
Had an Aunt Boo. If we
How
had
about
to be
that
an
English?
Aunt Boo, we would have
Yeah.
known everything.
The voice just fooled us. It was a great
Was
voice.
it?
Isn't that
Very
wonderful?
good. And it was just great. And the thing that's taking me is that English
Is
accent
it phony?
phony.
Yes.
Yes. Phony as a $3 bill, right?
Very phony.
Or a $7 bill, right?
They may be good. I don't know.
Well, if anybody can make them good, you can. Andy's going to even do a special of his own, Tuesday night, right?
Tuesday night, I have a special on with Ernie Ford.
Yeah. Uptown, the Uptown
And
Downtown.
Your friend Don Knotts, Steve.
That'd be fun. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. 8:30 on Tuesday? 8:30 on Tuesday. The three of you ought to have a ball.
Well, I say, we taped it already, so we did.
Did you? You had a good time? Did you sing, too?
Yes, I sang right with Ernie Ford, if you want to believe it.
You sang, but you didn't
And
sing.
so did Don.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, great. That ought to be great fun.
Andy first became famous around Random House when he
Yes,
did
sir.
No Time for Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Hmm?
Very good. That's
That
what we
was a
thought, we thought you might grab
Marvelous,
it quick.
marvelous book.
Yeah, it was.
I still go back and read it, and it's still funny.
Unfortunately, the fellow who wrote it died.
I know. At 42.
And you made a very fine guest.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed myself.
When you
very
get
much.
back to Oxford, I do hope you tell all the chaps
I
at
shall.
Maudlin that we
I shall tell every one of them hello from all of you.
Yes, I do wish you would, and thanks very much, Andy. That's a good one. Well, on balance, I've got to congratulate you. We gave you some really tough ones, and you've done very well with them, so congratulations, and we'll all be back. And may I say again that it's fun having had Suzy and Steve back with us. And
Pleasure,
Miss
John.
Arlene, don't pun anymore. And Bennett, you were just great. And good night, Miss Suzy Knickerbocker.
Good night, John. Good night, Steve.
Good night, Suzy. And good morning to my tailor. And good night, Arlene.
Good night, dear. Good night, Bennett.
You should see the pastel dresses these two girls have got on tonight. They're lovely, aren't they, John? Good night.
Yes, I think they are. They're lovely at heel. And that from an old from an old plug like you, that's something. And thanks to all of you for being with us on What's My Line?